Hi, Patterson families. This is Mr. Williams coming to you today with this presentation that I've created just to give families and students an idea of what they can anticipate for returning to school next Monday. This presentation is a recording over a PowerPoint. So if you want to access any of the live links in this, please do not attempt to access these in the presentation that I'm giving you here. I've included in the email a link that says Patterson International Restart 2020, and that is this presentation that I'm recording over. So you won't be able to, again, access this through the recording, but there is a copy of this presentation in the email, and you'll be able to access all of the links inside that presentation, inside the email for this presentation. So we'll go ahead and get started. We have been working away for the past month or so trying to create a plan to bring students back into school safely and to provide an option for families who want to have an online experience as well. This has been our number one priority, is trying to keep our staff and our students safe in both environments and try to provide the most rigorous education that we can in both of those environments. So I wanted to say thank you to those teachers who've created a lot of this work and have worked hard over the summer on their own time creating a lot of these ideas and guidelines for us. So basically what this presentation is going to give you kind of an outline of what kids can expect in both the online and in building learning. So if, again, parents, in the presentation, your email, if you want to access these live links, if you were to access this live link here, this is a link that is a working document of kind of the handbook that we're using. That will be our restart implementation guidelines. It's guiding all of our thinking and guiding all of our thoughts into providing a safe environment for kids. So this is a live link that you can access in your email, again, in the Patterson International Restart 2021 link that's in your email. But what we want to talk about in this presentation is some of the PPE, or the personal protective equipment requirements for staff and students. We're going to have a staggered dismissal and arrival time for students. We're going to talk about the classroom cohorts. And basically, kids, what a cohort is your classroom is a cohort. That is the people you will spend your day with. And we will not be mixing classrooms and mixing cohorts. So your cohort is going to be your homeroom teacher. We're going to talk about how that cohort is going to exist in the classroom, how they're going to have recess and lunch, how they're going to behave in the hallway environments, and how students can use the restroom. We're going to be talking about building access, and then we're also going to have an overview of both the remote learning and the hybrid that our sixth graders are going to be in. This is another live link here that you can access that will give you a day in the life of a Jeffco student. This video was produced by Jefferson County Public Schools to maybe give people an overview of what that may look like in in-person learning. So students, you'll see these signs, and parents, you'll see these signs from the outside, but these are all signs of just giving us a reminder that we all have to wear face coverings. We all have to wear a mask while we're in school. That includes all students and all teachers. When we're inside the building, we have to wear a mask. There will be hand sanitizing stations throughout the building. Each student will have a hand sanitation inside and outside their classroom. This is a reminder that we need to practice social distancing, similar to here. This is a nice graphic to demonstrate and show kids how to wash hands. And then we'll talk about our screening, our symptom screening stations here, and you'll see that sign here. If you see this sign that says do not use, this maybe it's going to be a classroom library or a portion of your classroom that your teacher is going to put this up, that's giving you a signal that you cannot use whatever books or materials are behind these signs. Okay, so also students around the hallways, around the library, we're going to have one-way traffic, and you'll see these arrows in there, and our one-way traffic around the library is going to go counterclockwise. And we need to follow this one-way traffic so that we have one group of students in the hallway and we're not crossing each other's paths for our safety and for your safety. So your teachers will go over that a little bit more with you about what those one-way patterns will look like. So our PPE, all students and staff will receive a reusable cloth mask that they can put over their face and wear to school every day. We will provide a minimum of one, and if we have options to provide more, we should be able to provide several masks to students based on what we've received our PPE from the district and some very generous folks in our community who have made masks for all of the children. So teachers are required to wear masks. They all will also have face shields, and we're working to get some clear masks for folks as we so kids can see what their teachers are saying. Each classroom will have a spray bottle with some disinfectant and a pair of reusable gloves. Those are both to be used by the teacher, not the students, and this will be what the teacher uses to kind of disinfect the classroom. We'll have 2 hand sanitizers for each sanitizing station that's in the school, and we will provide 1 clear partition for every teacher. So as they're doing small group instruction, they can use that partition if they choose. Patterson will also have disposable masks for students and staff if students or staff forget their masks for the day. Again, the parents, here is a link on the presentation that you can access that has some do's and don'ts that's provided by Jefferson County about do's and don'ts for face masks. And these are just some examples, kids, about what some face masks may look like. Hand washing, we're going to have several times a day where kids are required to wash their hands. This sign will be at all of the sinks, so kids can use this as a guidance to wash their hands. And then, of course, we'll have the hand sanitizer in each classroom. Again, parents, here's a link that you can access about some hand washing protocols that was put out by Jefferson County Public Schools. So, arrival, we are going to have a staggered start, and this will allow us to symptom screen all of the students who come into the building. So, if parents, you want to access this map, if you open this map, it will show you a map of the school. And how this works is, if you look here, this is the main entrance. This is Mr. Williams' office. Here's the gym. Here's the cafeteria. Mrs. Thurkelton's kindergartners will come through here, and they'll get screened right there. Mrs. Z and Mr. Wright, you guys will come in on this building, right, this door right here that's near the basketball hoops outside, and you'll symptom screen right here. Mr. Miller and Mrs. Elsenbast, you'll come in right outside Mr. Miller's room, and you'll symptom screen there. Miss Bullock and Miss Welty, you'll come right here. The flagpole's right here. You guys will come in this one and symptom screen here. Mrs. Espinal, Miss Billstrom, you will come in through here. Notice that there's some different exits. So you'll exit from a different room than you've come in, because again, kids, this hallway right here is a one-way hallway. So Miss Bistrom will come out right here. Welty will, Miss Bullock and Miss Welty will come this way and exit here. Right here, Miss Espinal will come out here. And so you can see Mr. Miller and Mrs. Elsebest are in. Mr. Miller will exit here, and Mrs. Espinal will exit through her own class door. So there will be some times that when you enter the door, the building, may be a different door than you exit. And your teachers will go over all of this with you when you guys start in-person learning. There will be 6 feet visible markings outside for kids to wait. I will talk about the screening process the next slides. Parents, unfortunately, family members are not allowed in the building. That would include any volunteers. We can't have lunch with kids anymore. And unfortunately, for now, we are not allowed to have anybody that is not an employee inside the school, any adult that's not an employee inside the school. Parents, I would ask you that we do not use the playground before or after school, and then we would have students arrive no earlier than 5 minutes before their staggered start time. Their dismissals will also be staggered, and we will start dismissals at 12:48. Kids will dismiss from a door that's near that when they arrive, but it may not be the same door. Parents, I'm going to ask that you social distance while you're on campus, and please do not congregate. And parents, please exit campus as soon as you have picked up all of your children. So the arrival and dismissal times are such. So if your last name is A through J, you're going to arrive for symptom screening at 8:10 through 8:16. You'll be the first to dismiss at 2:48 to 2:54. K through S, your symptom screenings will be 8:16 to 8:22. And your dismissal time will be 2:54 to 3 o'clock. T through Z, you're going to come to school at 8:22 through 8:28, and you'll leave right at 3 o'clock and be off campus by 3:06. And we're going to ask that everyone be off campus by 3:10. So the screening process is we're going to train staff, and basically the screening is real simple. We have electronic thermometers that don't touch any skin, and the screener will will push the button, and it'll send a little sensor right here on somebody's forehead, and it'll take their temperature. If a student has a temperature of 100.4 degrees or higher, they're going to be escorted to a care room, and a family member will need to come pick them up. The care room is going to be separate from the health room. So anytime a kid has symptoms of COVID-19, they will go to the care room. Anytime a kid has any other kind of sickness, whether they have asthma, they're not feeling well, they have a headache, they will continue to go to the clinic as normal. but we want to keep the care room and the clinic separate, and the care room will only be used if somebody is showing symptoms of COVID-19. So anybody who answers the question, yes, do you have a sore throat, cough, or runny nose, you'll also go to the care room for further evaluation from the clinic aide and some consulting with the district nurse. Like I said, the care room will be away from the clinic, and it will be supervised in the mornings when we use it mostly, and we will sanitize and clean that space regularly. So students, when you come into the school and you come into your class, you're going to notice that some of the things look different. We no longer have flexible seating. Everyone's going to have a desk, and it's going to be a little bit different than what some of you are used to. So all of the desks will be facing the same direction. You will be assigned to one desk, and you will need to use that desk. And we're going to ask that you don't sit in anybody else's desk and only sit in your desk. We're going to have the desk socially distanced as 6 feet. Our cooperative learning options are going to look a little bit different. We're going to try to be creative and create some of those for folks, but it's going to look a little different. Items that can't be cleaned easily, like plush toys or soft furniture or anything that's plushy, is not allowed. So we've taken all of the plushy furniture and all the plushy toys out of the classroom. We've stored them until we are out of the pandemic. We have established outside learning spaces, and we're going to utilize those outside learning spaces as much as possible to give kids and teachers a break from wearing the face coverings throughout the day. Again, with classroom setup, any supplies that you bring are only to be used by you. So there are no more community supplies. And if you run out of pencils or something, your teachers can provide you with maybe what the community supplies are going to be stored, but they will allocate those to you as needed. Students, you're going to be able to use some of the same materials like in PE and the playground, but after you use those materials, those are going to be sanitized before another cohort uses them. And we're working right now to assign all kids to their own Jeffco device, and this will allow students to have their own Jeffco device throughout the year. But that will bring me to my next point about this survey. We're hoping that we can procure some more devices and get some more devices so everybody does have their own device. But right now, we're still trying to get a device for everybody. So if parents, you could fill this survey out about this is a hot link that is also going to be in the the Patterson International Restart link that I sent an email. If you could fill that survey out so we can get an idea of what people's needs are for devices and also what maybe your internet needs are. And we can start helping parents and families get some of that stuff squared away. Once you get your school device, and if it's not working properly, parents, the best way to probably get that fixed is to call that line 303-982-3438 or to go onto that website and try to do some troubleshooting. And Jeffco IT will be there to help support you in getting those repaired. If it's something that you think is simple, certainly try to call the school first and we will try to help you. But if we are not able to help you, we'll refer you to the Jeffco Parent Tech Support. Students will get their username and password from their teacher, and that'll kind of all be squared away the first week of school. So what the first 2 weeks of remote learning has looked like is what you need to know before the 28th is we've gotten some feedback from last year's spring when we did remote learning, and we've kind of changed up a couple things to streamline things a little bit easier for families. So the learning management systems that kids online will be using and the learning management systems that kids inside the classroom will be using will be streamlined by grade level. So the kindergarten students will all use Seesaw. And we're going to have a couple of classrooms in person that are kindergarten, first grade splits, and they too are also going to use the Seesaw platform. We will have one first grade online classroom, and that classroom will use Google Classroom. All other classrooms, 2nd through 6th, will use Google Classroom. Any kind of virtual meetings that will be held will be used either through Jeffco's Zoom account or Google Meet account. We're going to be flexible and allow teachers to use both of those because some of the Google Meet stuff is already embedded in Google Classroom, and Jeffco Zoom has some different features that Google Meets does not have, like breakout rooms and some other features that some teachers would want to utilize moving forward this semester or trimester. So you'll see both of those platforms being used, both Google Zoom and Google Meets, and your teachers will communicate to students and families what those links are going to be on a regular basis. So assessment days, we will have assessment days the second week of school, and those will be the week of August 31st. Your teachers will reach out to you and have more information on those assessment days, what they'll look like, and also including sign up for those assessment days. Art, music, and PE kids, we're still going to have art, music, and PE. It might just look a little bit different. And we're hoping to kind of use the art, music, and PE spaces. We're still trying to work on a plan to make sure that Mr. Bothwell, Mr. Even, and Ms. Gerlich can all use their own spaces. And we're pretty confident that everyone's going to be able to use those spaces, and we'll be able to maximize our facilities as much as possible while maintaining sanitation and disinfectant procedures to make sure that we're trying to keep everybody as safe as possible. But we will have art, music, and PE. Again, we're of course going to have lunch, and of course we're going to have recess. There's going to be some rules that we have to put in place for lunch and recess. Again, kids, you're going to be in a cohort. You're going to be with your classroom eating lunch, and you will be in a cohort practice, recreating and doing recess with that cohort. We're not going to switch, and we're not going to mix classes. We're going to ask that all students will wash their hands before and after eating. Students, you're going to sanitize your own area using maybe a sanitation wipe or wiping down your area after you've eaten, but you're not to use the disinfectant. That's for teachers only. All the lunch bags and stuff will be stored in your backpack. We're no longer going to store them all together. Like I said, all snacks and food and meals will be consumed in cohorts or classrooms, um, either inside or outside, and they'll be monitored by licensed and classified staff. Students, you will still have the option to eat hot lunch if you choose. And again, we're going to have you wash and sanitize your hands before you come back into the classroom. If you want sunscreen on your child, make sure you apply that sunscreen before school, as we cannot apply that sunscreen at school. We will be using the playground, and we've divided the playground into the north playground and the south playground, and students will be assigned to play and recreate on those per what their teacher gives them and tells them where their recreation area is. Again, we're going to have to wash our hands before going outside and before coming back inside. Students, we cannot use water fountains. So all the water fountains have been kind of sealed up. So parents, please bring your child to school with a water bottle. And if a water bottle is not something that the family has or is able to get, just let me know, and we'll provide a water bottle to kids that they can bring back and forth to school and fill up so they can stay hydrated. Water bottles will be filled in classroom sinks, and they will also be filled with our water dispenser that's right outside the main office. And we'll create staggered times for kids to fill water bottles so they can stay hydrated throughout the day. Again, restrooms, kids, we can only have 2 kids in the bathroom at a time. You will each have your own bathroom pass, and once you're in the bathroom, you'll hang that bathroom pass outside so the other kids know how many kids are in there, because we can only have 2. If there are 2 kids in the bathroom, you'll wait until one of the kids comes out, grabs their pass, hang your pass up, and go into the bathroom. Teachers are instructed to only let 1 student out at a time to use the bathroom. Students, you'll know that some of the sinks and some of the bathrooms toilets will be taped off. Those are off limits because we are creating social distancing within those environments. So please respect that and do not use the bathrooms that have been taped off. Again, parents, unfortunately, no volunteers or visitors or non-employees will be able to access the building throughout the day. If one of your children forgets something they need for school, just call the main office. We'll place that outside, and the main office will grab whatever you drop off and deliver that to your students. We will have a simple system for checking students out in and out of school for the day. Just call ahead before picking up your student, and please bring your ID, and we'll make sure that we are giving students to the right people who are identified in our system and can go home with them. But we will still be able to access kids throughout the day if you have doctor's appointments or dentist appointments. I did send an email and a communication out several weeks ago, but we currently do not have a before and after school provider. Foothills was no longer able to provide that service for us because of the number of families that they were serving. So we are currently looking for some alternatives to provide a before and after care for our community. But as it stands, as of today, we do not have a provider. So if you have a need for before and after care, you will not be able to rely on something here at school, and you'll need to figure something out outside of school because we do not have that provider anymore. And I apologize, and we'll continue to work on finding some alternatives for those families. So online, if you have chosen the online option for your kids, you can expect it to look a little bit different than last spring. Last spring, we were tasked to kind of create this model over the weekend and put something in place very, very quickly. We've had some time to think about it. So you can expect a little bit more accountability for your child, more structure, and the learning will take place 5 days a week rather than 4 days a week. Again, parents, here is a link from the online team. And the online team has created this email they're going to send out to you, but it has all the expectations in regards to learning expectations, attendance, grades, feedback, the assessments, the parent meet and greet. So that will be there for you to access so you can get an idea of what the online environment will look like for your student. Again, that link is going to be in the link that you are seeing in your email that's called Patterson International Restart 2021. And again, parents, any link that you see while I'm talking, you are not able to access because I've actually recorded this and you're seeing a recording of the presentation. So that's why I've sent you the presentation for you to access on your own for review. Our sixth graders are going to be in a hybrid model. This is a model for all 6 through 12 students in Jeffco. And because we have sixth graders in our elementary, our sixth graders are also going to be in that hybrid model. What the hybrid model is going to be is our students are going to be coming to school in person 2 days a week and learning online 2 days a week. And then on Fridays, they'll be doing online learning as well as maybe some individual meetings with their teacher and additional support from their teacher. This hybrid model is being implemented based on the recommendations for public health and because of the age of our sixth graders and the transmission of COVID-19 with kids who are 11 or older. And that looks a little bit differently for kids who are 10 and younger. So that's the rationale for why we are being tasked to implement a hybrid model as well. Our hybrid model for our sixth graders, we're going to be on an A-B-D schedule, which basically means on Monday and Wednesday, the A students will come and the B students will be on remote learning. On the B days, Thursday and Tuesday and Thursday, our B students will be in person and our A students will be working remotely. Again, Friday, all students will work remote and they'll be working on finishing lessons Monday through Thursday and maybe meeting individually with their teacher as needed. Look for more information from your hybrid teacher later this week, and you will get information about which schedule you're going to be on. If you're a sixth grade, you'll get information later this week on are you going to be A or are you going to be B. But parents and students, I want to remind you that if you are not at school during the hybrid model, you still have learning to do every day. So in order to be successful, it's important that you are doing the work that you were assigned to complete in the remote environment during your days that you are not at school. So that's very important that you need to still log on, and there will be lessons that you will just kind of chime in on while the A students are learning in person, that those might be live streamed to you. So you'll have to keep very, very close tabs on that because it's going to be something that we didn't do last semester and it might look a little bit differently. So I know everybody's wondering, who is my teacher? So the way you can figure this out, parents, is if you go to Jeffco Parent Portal, and again, in the link, Patterson International Restart, not in this presentation, you can click on this and it'll take you to Jeffco Connect or Jeffco Campus. So you will put in your username and password, and then once you're logged in, you'll look on the left-hand side of your computer screen and you'll see the word schedule. If you click on that and open that, it will show you who your student's teacher is. If you have more than one student, on the upper right-hand side of your screen, you'll be able to toggle between the students that you have at Patterson. So hopefully that will give you an idea of who your students' teachers are, and your teachers are going to start reaching out to folks tomorrow and giving you information about what you can anticipate in either in-person or remote learning. So that pretty much wraps up our presentation for today. Again, parents, remember that during this recording, you are not able to access any of the live links in here. That's why I've sent you the additional link in your email that has the presentation with live links, and it's called Patterson International Restart 2021. Any of those live links in there, you'll be able to access, including questions from me, or you can email the school or call the school with any questions regarding our restart plan. Parents, I thank you for your continued support and your flexibility and agility during these uncertain times. I know this is going to be a very unique year for not only your children, but also the teachers and the professionals in the building. I'm confident that we are going to be able to persevere through these tough times, and I am honored to be serving your community during these tough times. As always, go Panthers, and I look forward to seeing all the kids next week.